Hi everyone, we are excited to have Vijeta Bhoval and Sneha Binani with us, both recent graduates from Vedika Scholars and proud alumni of this Vedika Scholars program. Joining them is Pratibha Masi from the Vedika team, who will share insights into Vedika's admission philosophy and the application process as we move forward in today's conversation. So to begin, let's start by hearing a little bit about you. Sneha and Vijita, please introduce yourselves.
Hello everyone, I am Sneha Binani. I'm originally from Assam, one of the northeastern states, so from a very beautiful state of Assam. Talking about my education, I've done my undergraduation from the Lady Shri Ram College for Women in sociology. Continuing in the same subject, I did my master's from Delhi School of Economics, University of Delhi. Post that, I went on and worked for a year with a firm called Swaniti Global. It's an NPO, non-profit organization, and it directly works with the government. So I was directly working with the government district administrations of two districts, one in Tripura and then one in Assam. So I was directly working with the district magistrate, helping them to better implement central government schemes in respective districts. And then I kind of had an itch to learn management. Stumbled upon Vedika. I think we'll kind of share more about this as we move on with the conversation.
Yes.
And yeah, did my 18 months with Vedika. Absolutely loved it. And yeah, currently I'm working as I graduated from Vedika in January this year.
Oh, thank you so much, Vijita. Please introduce yourself.
Hello everyone, I'm Vijita. I'm a recent graduate of Vedika Scholars from the batch of 2024, and I hail from Guwahati, Assam. I did my BTech in Civil Engineering from National Institute of Technology, Silchar, and post that I had worked for 4 years with Larsen & Toubro as a planning engineer, mostly in the space of client billing and project coordination. And after that, basically I wanted to pivot my career path, and that's how I stumbled upon Vedika, and that's how my journey with Vedika was.
Thank you so much. Now moving on to your career aspirations, I want to know that what led you on this path of management. What were your career aspirations at that time? उस वक्त आपने क्यों management का path choose किया?
So as I had mentioned that I was working with Larsen & Toubro for 4 years, but I was stuck to the operation department. And from the very beginning of my professional career, I had always wanted to understand business from a holistic perspective, which also means that to be able to work in the management, which would give me exposure to working with different functions of a business. But to be very honest, being in the construction industry, especially being a female candidate, it's a little difficult to climb up the ladder that fast. And hence I wanted to pivot my career most importantly and wanted to get into an industry which provides a comparatively more level playing field. And that's when I have realized, and in the process of wanting to pivot is when I had realized that probably going through academia is one of the way, or having an institutional education is one of the way. And that's when I started researching about what are the management colleges that are available, and that's how I came across Vedika, and I thought of doing a management course.
Perfect. Sneha, you?
Right. Like I said, after my master's in sociology, I went on and, I was working with a social impact firm. Again, I loved what I did, to be honest, because I always wanted to be in the development sector and, kind of create a positive impact in the society through this way, through the social and the development way. But somewhere down the line, I always had this itch to learn business. More than management, it was, learning business. And the main reason is because I come from a business family. I've seen my parents doing business throughout their lives, and throughout my life I've seen them doing this, right? And also I'm a single child to my parents, so taking over the family business or starting something of my own, or just doing something within the field of business was something that I looked forward to. And I always thought that my passion for social impact I can always continue, even if I am even if I'm on in my space of business and management. So that's how I thought that this is the right time for me to kind of go and get myself skilled to do business, because I think I come from a business family, and in the Marwari community I think people say it's in the blood. But I think today, given the geopolitical structure we are in, given the the dynamic world that we live in, I think it's very important that we have the skills to understand how the business landscape, how the management space works. So that was my career aspiration. I wanted to pivot. I wanted to learn business. I wanted to learn business from a very different perspective, and not just management, but a lot of things. And I think Vedika was just the right thing that happened at the right time.
I also wanted to add one thing here. So there are so many girls who come from humanities background and who have successfully graduated from Vedika and are doing fantastic in their lives. There is sometimes there is a tendency among youngsters that someone who's from humanity or arts background will not be able to study management, or management is not the path for them. But here, Vedika, we are breaking those stereotypes. And here at Vedika, if you see, 25% of our cohort is of humanity backgrounds, and we have had girls. We've had people from arts background today. I mean, in the beginning, they thought they were a content person, but today they are into strategy roles. I remember there is a girl who's working in McKinsey today. There is a girl who's working in Take My Trip in strategy roles coming from, humanities background. So Vedika has been able to, being that factor in their life who helped them figure out their careers. And yeah, I just wanted to add that bit.
That's very good to hear. Yeah, going ahead with questions, I would like to know, how did you discover Vedika and what motivated you to join this program?
Well, I think life has actually come like a full circle for me, because it was actually through one of these YouTube videos that I had discovered Vedika. And for me, the reason to choose Vedika was, as I had mentioned in my previous answer, that I always wanted to have a multidisciplinary understanding of business, understanding of how corporates work in general. And when I saw the curriculum that Vedika offers, is where I truly felt that it aligned with my professional goal and I thought was right for me. And that's why, I went ahead with this option.
Sneha, you?
So I discovered Vedika through one of my LSR alums. So I think having a good alum community is very important. And I think Vedika is trying to build that. And I hope we kind of connect as good alums in the future. So yeah, one of my LSR alums, she is a Vedika alum too. She told me about Vedika and she told me what aspects of Vedika stands out. And then I did my own research, of course. And I think it just aligned with me. The whole curriculum, the whole perspective, the whole vision that Anuradha has, that Pramath has, how they started this whole program. I think it just aligned with what I see the education space, especially for women of the country and abroad. I think the whole thing aligned with me. So yeah, that's how Vedika happened for me. And I think the multidisciplinary aspect that also the Vijayta also spoke about, I think, yeah, that also kind of just felt right. Because like I said, I wanted to learn management or business from a holistic perspective. So like a 360-degree vision to everything. And I think, yeah, Vedika provides that.
Yeah, so you just talked about that how the curriculum aligned with you. So just speaking a little more on this, how is the curriculum different from the other management programs, how it has helped you, and what aspects of it did stand out the most for you?
I come from a humanities background. I've done sociology all my life and I absolutely love the subject. So, one thing that I was kind of sure of to say was, I don't want to give up on my liberal arts forte. It's just not how I'm built. And therefore, like I said, even though I wanted to learn management, I was never keen on doing a management program from a traditional MBA school or a business school. I never looked forward to doing a traditional MBA. Therefore, I've never sat for any of the exams, be it CAT or GMAT, etc., etc. I don't even know what the syllabus entails, because I never looked forward to doing those programs, and I was actually looking for alternatives. And I know I started from a global space, thinking that will India have such a program? So of course I was doing my bit of research, etc. And that's how Vedika happened, because here, of course, they teach you management, but they teach you liberal arts, they teach you communication, they teach you personality development, which I think is very rare, or maybe it doesn't exist. So I think, it was like a win-win situation for me. I get to learn management, but I also kind of hold on to my liberal arts forte. And I've done my bachelor's and master's in sociology, but then also when I went to Vedika, I got a new perspective to sociology as well, because they taught me sociology within the workspace, within the corporate structure, which maybe coming from a theoretical background, we didn't really discuss about this earlier, let's say. So I think, yeah, that really helped. And also, of course, the communication track and the personality development track is also like an add-on, which I think most of the B schools maybe don't focus on, or maybe, it's a very rare thing to happen.
Right.
So I think that, and of course, the mentorship programs that Vedika has, I think it's one of the most excellent things that they provide, be it industry mentors or shadow mentors. And that those are relationships that we, take forward for life.
Yeah, Vijita, you?
Well, there are a couple of things or a couple of features to Vedika that makes it a unique program. And of course, as we had mentioned, that it's not a traditional MBA course. And we have 4 tracks, which are the management track, the personality development track, the communication track, and the liberal arts track. Apart from that, while of course there are a lot of unique features to Vedika, but few of the things that I would like to talk about is we have amazing set of faculties. They are industry experts themselves who double as our faculties, which means that the kind of study that we have in the classroom is not theoretical at all. The way our exams are designed, the way our assignments are designed, it's so hands-on and it's so practical that on a daily basis, we get to not just learn, but also implement whatever we are learning. Apart from that, we also have life projects that we work with, solving real-life problems. The mentorship, of course, as Sneha had talked about. But one more very important aspect that I really want to credit Vedika for is a very thoughtful and an intentional designing of this entire academic curriculum, which comprises of 4 tracks, which is the management track, the personal growth track, the communication track, and liberal arts track. Because today, I truly believe that as a business leader, it's important for you to understand not just the technical or the management side of running business, but also the softer nuances. Say, for example, the stakeholders that you are catering to, as well as to truly understand, how their mindset works. And that is where I think subjects like critical thinking, sociology, psychology comes into play and just help us make better decisions. Over that, the kind of network that I was able to build, not just with the alumni, but also faculties themselves, the whole mentorship programs, we have shadow mentors, we also have program mentors. So I think it's a woman who is building the community stronger and stronger year on year. So that is definitely a unique feature to Vedika.
I want to add to what Vijeta and Sneha mentioned about Vedika's curriculum. The most wonderful aspect of the curriculum I find, of course, in addition to the management track, which we have to teach because it's a business school, what I love about Vedika's curriculum is the self-growth track, where we, along with management, teach you, about the challenges that a woman will face in their lives, brief you about those challenges and also equip you to navigate those challenges and, go ahead with all those qualities that will help you, face those challenges in life so that, you all will have break-free careers. You will know that you will never quit, because that's one thing we keep reinstating at Vedika every day in all our scholars, the idea of not quitting. And we want all of them to be equipped to be able to stay in the workforce. So that is something I think under the self-growth track we've been able to teach that stays with all of our scholars. And we keep hearing from our recruiters. One of our recruiters also mentioned that the kind of promotions that Vedika scholars have been able to get in the companies compared to other students from other B schools that were hired. Compared to Vedika, Vedika scholars got 3 times better and more promotions than them. And till now, I think with this batch, with Vijeta batch, we have 800 plus alums who have graduated from Vedika in the last 10 years. And staying in the workforce rate up to the last batch has been 95%. So I think we are staying true to what we speak or what our mission is, helping women stay in the workforce. And 95% of all our scholars who have graduated from Vedika have been able to stay in the workforce. Another thing Sneha mentioned, this is different that we have at Vedika, is not looking at the generalized competitive exams, be it CAT, ZAT, NMAT, SNAP, GMAT, etc. These exams are designed or built in such a manner that they are not able to assess the student's true potential. One day in someone's life if didn't go well, cannot be the deciding factor of how that student will, be in her life. For example, if in class 12, I failed in my physics paper or didn't score well in my physics paper, and that brought down my total aggregate. And then when I'm, sitting to appear for the exams or I'm sitting for recruitment, those, academic scores will affect me. But look at is, what I can be from here, what I can learn from here. So at Vedika, we look at your potential today over your performances in the past. So I think that helps every woman get another opportunity, like a second chance in career, which we provide at Vedika.
Nice. Yeah. So coming back to the point, Sneha and Vijita, you both shared about the mentorship that you got from this program. Now, there's a very unique feature, Shadow a Women Leader module. I want to know more about this, that how was your experience with Shadow a Women Leader module? What were your key takeaways and how did it shape your perspective?
So, Shadow a Woman Leader module is the unique feature to Vedika scholars, definitely. And I was extremely fortunate to shadow Christina, a contractor. She is the Senior Business Director at Sutherland Global Services. So what it does is that it allows us to work closely with these leaders and observe them on a daily basis, how they handle their personal life, their professional life, the way they handle their clients, the way they are with their teams. And the unique thing is that Vedika does connect you to one mentor, but through her, I got connected to a lot of other leaders who belong to her area of work because she had introduced me. So it's a win-win situation, and it's an opportunity that I don't think so any other institute provides, because we stay there, we work with her for 5 weeks. And at the same time, it's not just one mentor connection that we are building, but we are also getting to, create networks, and it opens door for networking, for learning much more. My key learnings would be that while of course just having a second-hand experience of how her journey was, I can probably sit back and look at, okay, these are the kind of decisions that I would like to make for myself. And also, I think now I have a clear vision for myself, the kind of leader or the kind of manager that I would like to become. And over and above, what I truly understood is that a leader is somebody who doesn't stand above the team, but somebody who stands by the team. So while there have been so many learning, and it's so difficult for me to sum up in one sentence, but yes, for me it has been an amazing opportunity, and opportunity that has opened up doors like I probably could not have ever imagined.
Yeah. Sneha, you?
So Shadow Women Leader module, to be very honest, was one of the key things that kind of led me to Vedika, because I thought it's a very unique thing, something that I'd never heard of. To be honest. So I've been very fortunate to have shadowed Elzbieta Takakova. She's the People and Culture Director of the Austrian Business Unit of Coca-Cola HPC. And she operates from Vienna. So I got an amazing chance to travel to Vienna to shadow her. So I was one of the scholars who went international to shadow. I think it was a once in a lifetime opportunity for me because, I hope people don't confuse. It was not an internship program, but a mentorship program, which I think is very, very unique that Vedika provides. Because to be very honest, at this stage in my life, getting access to people at that stature is something so amazing. Someone who is the People and Culture Director of an industry, of a company as big as Coca-Cola. It's like an access that you get that otherwise you would not have get if you wouldn't have been a Vedika scholar, is what I feel. So I think that's an amazing bit. Second, what I learned from Elzbieta, I think a lot of things, and some things that I can't count on my fingers, but to recollect a few, I learned coaching leadership style from her. Someone who is a leader, but someone who is also a coach, someone who is also a mentor, someone who is also a big support system to her team. She always stood by her team. She was busy. She had meetings back to back, but she made sure that she kind of goes to her team and ensures that every team member is doing well. If she gets to know that, okay, someone is not keeping well, even if she has a minute, she'll go and, do you need medicines? Are you fine? Do you want me to call the doctor? I mean, it just takes a lot of, I don't know, it's just her simplicity and her leadership style that kind of brings in her all of these things very naturally. So like Vijeta mentioned, now I know what kind of leader I want to become, who is there for her team, who is, who stands by them, who stands with them. And second thing that she taught me was giving autonomy to team members and not micromanaging. She just lets her team be. She just lets her team take decisions, give them the entire freedom, because she says that if someone has come in, if we have recruited them, it means that we believe in their capabilities. So why don't we kind of give them the autonomy to just work as they want to work? I'm always there to support them. But if you really want the best out of people, just kind of give them that autonomy and space to work. So I think these are a few things that I learned. And from the Coca-Cola space, I think people say that, corporate offices or offices in general can't be homes. I've seen people loving offices back in Austria, their office back in Austria more than their homes. So it was like a home space for these people to come and kind of gel together, be friends, be each other's biggest supporters, etc. And of course, the cultural accessibility that I got when I went to Vienna. Just the cultural exposure of how things work in a very, in a different country, in a European setup. What sort of team dynamics do they have? What sort of corporate, how are corporate spaces structured there? So all those nuances, all those learnings, I think I can come back here and put them into use. And I think, yeah, like I mentioned, it wouldn't have been possible if I didn't get a chance.
Thank you, Bijita and Sneha, for sharing your shadow mentor journey. They both had a great stint in their respective shadow mentors' office. What I want to add here, Sugandha, is that, it's so unique and it's so amazing that every single student gets snapped to a shadow woman leader. And what is so unique about the program is that they get to work in their office for 5 weeks. And the aim is to help them learn from not just through their professional journey, but also their personal journey, that how they navigated the challenges at home and became that CXO level or CEO level person. And one fun fact that I'll share with you, I heard this in the office from a dad. We started the Shadow Woman Leader module in 2015, which was our first year. That was Shadow the CEO. And eventually we realized we didn't have enough CEOs in the country. There is a number. Every 100 CEOs, there's just 5 CEOs who are female CEOs in the country. So that is actually, that's a very sad number, which Vedika as a program, it is also around women leadership in the country and have more and more CEOs coming out, as women CEOs in the country. Then we had to tweak this program from CEO to CXO level. So Shadow a Woman Leader is now mapping of each Vedika scholar to CEO or CXO. Also, a unique feature again is that, you work with this female woman leader, you learn from her, you network, you get to do amazing projects, and sometimes the assignments and projects, if you do so well, they can also be incorporated as the project in their organization, leave a mark in the organization. And cherry on the cake, sometimes if you do so well and your mentor likes you, they like your work, they like how you've been for these 5 weeks, you might end up getting a PPO, which is a pre-placement offer from the organization. And it has happened so many times. And it is also very, very amazing at Vedika. You just don't get to, you just don't get those regular traditional roles, say marketing manager, research consultant, or whatever, AM manager, associate, etc. You can get unique designations. For example, one of our scholars got placed as the DNI, diversity and inclusion specialist in an organization, which is such a unique role. And this was her calling. This was something she wanted to get into. So I think that was pretty amazing.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing.
Shadow Women Leader was honestly one of the things that kind of attracted me to Vedika, among others, of course, because it was something unheard of, right? I never heard of this sort of a module where we get to mentor such senior leaders and especially senior women leaders. So I've been very fortunate to have shadowed Alzbeta Takakova. She's the People and Culture Director of the Austrian Business Unit of Coca-Cola HBC. And she operates from Vienna. So I got a chance to go to Vienna and shadow her. So I was one of the scholars who went international for shadow. And to trust me, I had an out-of-world experience shadowing Alzbeta. Starting with what are my key takeaways from shadow. First, Alzbeta has a very coaching leadership style. So she is not only a manager or a leader to her team, but she's also a coach, also a mentor to her team. She is an extremely busy woman, but she always takes out time to, to make sure that her team is doing okay. If somebody is ill, she'll make sure, even if she has a minute, she'll make sure she'll come and ask them, are you doing okay? Do you need something? Do you want me to call the doctor, etc. So, there's always a balance. And, people who want to do it will always do it, is what I learned from her. And second thing, I think, this entire myth of corporate spaces or offices cannot be homes to people, but I've seen people loving their office more than their homes when I was there in the Coke HBC office. So I had an absolutely amazing experience. I think what stands out in the shadow program is it's not an internship, it's a mentorship program. And getting access to such senior women leaders at this stage of our careers is something I don't think is possible without, without this entire module that Vedika offers to us. So I think that makes it more unique when you kind of get to learn from the best of the lot. So, this entire dream of getting mentored by a woman who is the people and culture director of a company as big as Coca-Cola is something that I'm thankful to Vedika for.
Okay, so you both shared your individual experiences, and I'm sure that it transformed you, it contributed to your growth. Talking about your transformation and growth, how has Vedika contributed to your personal and professional growth? Could you share some specific examples or experiences that had a significant impact on you?
I think growth and transformation are the words that is synonymous to our Vedika journey for sure, and I have had my share of personal as well as professional growth. The highlight for me professionally was definitely that I was able to pivot my career from the construction industry to the IT industry. But I think even more than that, with the courses in the curriculum, the management courses, the liberal arts, and the assignments and the life projects that I was a part of, I think today I'm a much more capable professional because I know that today in whatever domain I'll be put into, I'll be able to get or do meaningful work, which probably I wasn't capable of doing previously because I had exposure to only one area of business. So that way, I think I have become a much capable or a better benchmark professional, to put it that way. Personally, oh my God, there has been a huge transformation, definitely. But one specific thing that I can talk about is that, and Pratibha was also mentioning some time back, that we have this personal growth track. And under that track, we have a few courses wherein we are asked to form small peer groups where we sit together. A safe space is provided to us for us to talk about topics and discuss issues that otherwise would not have been possible in public domain, even if they are taboo in nature, or say the kind of struggle or the obstacles that we have had faced. And those discussions just makes us more self-aware. But also, I think it had also humbled me in a way where I realized that my struggles are not my just alone to experience or to face. It's a shared experience, and when you know that you are not alone in the journey and there are people who have had the same experience, I think it gives you a little bit of more confidence that okay, if somebody else was able to overcome it, so can I. So this whole personal transformation has been, I think, to sum up, I would say a little bit more self-aware, a little bit more self-confident, and a little bit more feeling of settled, and I think I have a better foot on the ground.
Thank you, Vijita. Sneha, what about you?
So both personally and professionally, I feel that Vedika has helped me to grow into a better person in my personal life as well as in my professional life. So personally, I would say, Vedika has really helped me to build resilience. And when I use this word resilience, it comes from different experiences that I've had in Vedika, but I think one that stands out is again my shadow experience. Self-confidence as well. Of course, I wouldn't say that, I always doubted myself, but somewhere down the line, I was insecure about a lot of things. I used to feel that I'm not good with numbers. I will never be able to do finance. I'll never be able to do, maths, etc. But when I came to Vedika, there's a different altogether quant center that helps you with, with mathematics and numbers. And they start with the very basics. So they don't assume that, okay, just because you've come to do an management program, you might know numbers, you might be comfortable with numbers. So I think the quant center really helped me to get comfortable with numbers. Of course, the finance classes that we had with the amazing faculty, Mr. Ankul Kulreshta. I think, now I love the subject. Now I know that, okay, even if I don't want to make my career in finance, I can read basic balance sheets and, profit and what is profit and loss, etc. So I think, it just instills that confidence in you.
I think it was very inspiring answer, both of you. So, okay, we talked about faculty and mentorship and how it helped you in personal growth. But one of the main reason why people want to join management program is to get a good placement. And I think that is equally important here. So talking about placement and career path, where are you currently placed? And how was your placement journey? Could you walk us through the process and key learnings from the whole placement process?
So through Vedika, I got placed at HCL Tech as their senior management trainee. And the whole journey of, this whole placement process is taken care by a dedicated careers team for each and every scholar. It begins nearly 2 to 3 months prior to the placement session. For my own journey, the biggest takeaway would be that as a management student, I think there is no set syllabus for us that the interviewer may ask us, because we can be thrown any sort of question. And that's why I think it is so important for us to be aware of what's happening out in the world. And that preparation doesn't start just 2 to 3 days prior an interview. So the more prepared you are, the better you are going to perform in the interview. And preparation is something that not just a management student, I think in life, preparation is something that you always have to do it for yourself. That has been my biggest key takeaway in this process.
Sneha, how about you?
So currently I'm placed at Positive Moves as an accelerate trainee, and have started my journey. So I joined in Feb. And I was very fortunate to kind of to get placed early in the process. So I got placed in September. September first week was when the placement started. And by the end of September, I was fortunate to get placed with Positive Moves. So that was quite a journey. What I like about the careers team is they're very supportive. They will support you throughout your journey. They'll make you feel comfortable, so you kind of back of the mind, there's someone to take care of you. And of course, Vijeta has mentioned how the placement process, how the placement preparation starts. So there's a dedicated team that comes to kind of teach you mock JDs, mock interviews, resume sessions, how you can better your resume, how we can prepare for interviews, etc. But I think preparations don't happen 2 days before the interview, or maybe let's say 2 months before the interview as well. Right. I think the day we join Vedika, when we start our 18 months journey, is when the preparations start, because the interviewer can ask you anything and everything. And to be very honest, when I sat for my Positive Moves interview, all the rounds that I had, I couldn't have been prepared for those questions. They were situation-based questions. They were case studies. They were just random, general, real-life scenarios that can happen with you and me at any point in time. So you can't be prepared for those questions. But I think the entire curriculum that Vedika kind of teaches you, the experiences that faculty share, they are industry experts themselves. They are they have come from academic backgrounds where they have learned a lot of things, and from real life experiences, there are things that you learn more than books, textbooks, etc. So I think that really helps. So you kind of understand how do you deal with such questions. So I think so that's about the placement process. Yeah.
Okay. What advice would you give to young women considering Vedika, and how can they make the most of this journey?
For somebody who is considering Vedika, I would say that check your intention with which you wish to join Vedika. I think it's important that you do your bit of research for you to understand what is it that you have signed up for. And the reason why I say this is, and I think I can add up on this, every student who graduates from Vedika, I think it's not just our traditional management course that we had already mentioned, but I think each and every scholar who graduates out of Vedika graduates with a sense of responsibility. Not just with a sense of responsibility to be a professional a benchmark professional, of course, but also as a representative, not just of the institution, but also the gender at large, because once we get the opportunity, we have to seize the opportunity, make the best use of it, and do everything possible to make things right so that we hold the door open for those who come after us. So I think it's important that you come here with the right intention and know what you have signed up for. And for people who have already started their journey or have already taken admission, for them, I would say, for you to be able to make the most of this Vedika journey, I would say just have an open mind, have an open heart. The reason being, and this is something that I have experienced myself, even if the faculties are industry expert and they come and teach you technical stuff, but because of their expertise, sometimes they throw in such statement which change your view of the world, which change the way you have had approached problem otherwise, and you will carry that forever. And as I had mentioned, the transformation happens every day, every single moment, with every classroom experience, with every assignment that you submit. So for you to have that transformation, you need to open yourself. You cannot be resistant towards them. So have an open mind, have an open heart, and let the magic happen.
Thank you so much. That was a very good answer. Sneha, what about you?
Right. So I think I agree with Vijeta when she says that, people need to be open. So these young women, when they enter Vedika, they need to kind of understand what Vedika is offering from a very open mind and a very open perspective. So, when people come into Vedika, I've seen that, they come with a preconceived notion of it being a management program alone, which of course it is. It teaches you about management. It is one of the most important parts of the curriculum. But then I think, sometimes people don't understand why are they offering the other tracks, as a complement to the management track. So I've seen people being resistant to the liberal arts track or the communication track, thinking that how is it adding up, or why are these tracks there? Why can't we dedicate more time to just management related courses? Right. But I think, it's important for them to understand that how are these complementing and why are they there in the curriculum in the first place. If you're doing a sociology course, if you're doing a psychology course, or if you're doing a philosophy course, how is it adding up? Because they are making you better for the workplace. There are certain skill sets that management will teach you, but there are certain skill sets only these subjects will teach you. To be open in terms of how do you want to structure your team. What sort of group dynamics do these corporate spaces have? How can you fight office politics? How can you maintain a work-life balance? How do you maintain your mental and physical well-being while you're at office? Etc., etc. So I think it's very important that you understand the right balance that the curriculum offers you and take the full use of it. So, by the time people realize why these courses are important, they're already gone. And I think then you can't kind of, consume 100% of all of these courses because they start quite early. I think psychology is one of our first courses, and it's so important for people to understand how mental health is being affected at workplace and how can you deal with it, and several other things when these courses, come into the picture. And similarly, communication and personality development. I think communication is one of the key things that you require in any professional setting. And people need to kind of realize this and kind of divide their attention accordingly. So I think it's very important people don't come with preconceived notions that, okay, this is what I want to get out of Vedika and that's it. I want to restrain myself to it. Come with a very open mind. Of course, people have done their bit of research, right? They know what Vedika is about. And now if they want to take a decision or they have taken a decision, they need to kind of sit and see what they want to kind of prioritize for themselves. And if Vedika is the right thing for them. Because if they come here and kind of restrict themselves, then you're not getting, there's no win-win situation for you. You're not getting anything out of the program then. I think it's a wonderful program, but to get things out of it, you need to be very open to the faculty, to the curriculum, to the management team, to everybody, and of course to your peers. I think peer learning is one of the best things that Vedika gives you.
Anything you want to say, Pratibha?
Okay, we also have VWCC, which is Vedika Writing and Communication Center, and Quant Center at Vedika. Neha did mention the Quant Center. Here we want to ensure that the girls do not have fear of math. Every girl who graduates from Vedika gets out of Vedika with no fear of math in their head. They can work in any role, any department, any organization very, very confidently. And as I also mentioned before, that our recruiters keep coming back and keep complimenting our girls that they speak really well. They have impeccable communication skills, be it a boardroom meeting or they are speaking on a podium. The Vedika girls are really good orators and they are able to, speak their mind, speak confidently. They are very authentic, and this is what we teach them. They are very articulate, so they are able to express themselves well, and this is what we have been able to achieve. We also hear from the parents and from our scholars that when the girls go for vacation, they hear from their parents and their family. They mention that they can see the change in them. So this is what speaks about the Vedika delta change. The day one versus your graduation day. So there is a delta that Vedika has been able to provide. We are here, we are a school, and we want to add to what a scholar is. Here, Vedika is ready to teach the students and bring the best out of them. So I think that's where we are truly different from other preschools, because we want to ensure that the girls get their best version. And that is what our motto is every single day.
Thank you. That's very inspiring to hear. So thank you, ladies. Thank you very much for joining. Thank you for your insights. I'm sure everything that you shared will help other girls as well. And if anybody would have any doubt, they can ask in the comments. And I think that would be all for this video. Thank you very much.